Welcome to another episode of UI5ers Live. I'm Margot Wolny, your host for this session. This time we will introduce you to SAP Fiori Tools Project Accelerator. This is a tool that can generate data models, services, sample data, and an SAP UI5 UI based on business requirements, which can be provided in the form of text and/or images. To give us an in-depth look, we are joined by Vinay Hospete and Ian Quickly. Hello to you both. Yeah, we will also discuss the migration of the themes using the UI theme designer. For expert insights into this topic, I'm happy to introduce you to Dominik Schreiber.
Hello, good to see you all.
Also joining us today are Peter Müsig.
Hi.
And Andreas Kunz.
Hi.
Yeah, now let's hand over to Vinay to take us through the Project Accelerator.
So today I'll be demonstrating the Project Accelerator, an innovative AI-powered tool designed to quickly develop the Fiori application. The AI-powered Project Accelerator is delivered as part of SAP Fiori tools, and it is available in the SAP Business Application Studio. And it is under the SAP Build Code license or the subscription. So I have here the SAP Build Code lobby. I have opened it already. So you can navigate to the SAP Business Application Studio used by the DevSpace Manager. You can navigate to your DevSpace managers. I have already created one DevSpace just to save some time, as it takes 1 or 2 minutes to create the DevSpace. You can actually create a DevSpace, choose the kind of application as full stack application using productivity tools, and click on Create DevSpace. It takes only just 1 or 2 minutes to create the DevSpace. And once the DevSpace is created, you can click on the DevSpace, and which takes you to the Business Application Studio. So here, how do I access the Project Accelerator? You can click on the jowl as an entry point. So here, let the jowl load. And here you have a jowl command, Fiori Gen Spec App. So click on it, and then you can start providing your business requirements as a simple text. So I'll just provide a simple text as the jowl thinks, and lets us to navigate to the Project Accelerator. As we have a dedicated UI for the Project Accelerator, where it can accept all the different kinds of inputs, like a simple text, an image, screenshot, mockups, or combining both text and image as a Markdown file, as a .md file. So here I have a list of some sample inputs. So let me take the one from a sample mockup for managing the purchase orders. So this is a handwritten sketch mockup. So where it has, it's a list report template where it has a few filters and also a table with having a columns purchase order, supplier, company code, and so on. So now I'll upload this image and to the Project Accelerator as a business requirement. And then the Project Accelerator will create a CAP project with the Fiori element list report as a UI application. So let's do that. Now I'll go to the Project Accelerator. You can access Project Accelerator by clicking on this icon, SAP Fiori, or by chance, if you miss how to access it, you can always reach it with the shortcut. Open the commands, Control-Shift-P or Command-Shift-P from the Mac, and type Project Accelerator. You can still navigate back to this any point in time if you lose where it is exactly. And now what I'll do is, of course, you can provide the inputs as a text. Now I'll choose this file, the mockup, the handwritten one. So that is mockup manage purchase orders. So the system is uploading this image. So once the image is uploaded, I'll get a image here, a quick preview here. So I can click on generate button. So now what happens behind the scenes? Once I click the generate, the image is sent to the LLM, and where it is actually analyzed for all these shapes and patterns, these tables, whatever I have drawn, and it tries to determine the appropriate layout or a floor plan. Once this layout is identified, and then the LLM further tries to create a JSON model or whatever, and using that, it creates data model, manifest settings, annotations required for the list report project and the CAP based on the CAP project. So once it generates all these files, it has basically 8 steps. It's almost the 7 steps are done. In the meantime, I can quickly go through what are the different kinds of inputs it actually supports. So you can provide an input like a plain text, having, for example, list of customers, and then having connected to a list of contracts, something like this. Or you can also collaborate with a team, and then try to draw a data models. Let the image load. It's not only the something like a screenshot or a mock-up. Just having a maybe it takes some time to open up. I'll try to reload it. Okay, some issue with opening an image. Okay, I can get back to this later. But in the meantime, I can come back here to the Project Accelerator. And now I could see that the files are all generated. The CAP project is ready. I can cross-check on the DB schema.cds as I have uploaded the purchase orders mockup. So the entity purchase order with the related fields is ready, and also the service application. So here I have a UI application with a list report template and the related annotations. So all these files are in the staging area. They are not copied yet to the workspace. So now I can also quickly preview the application here. And just to verify everything is right before accepting the project. Because once I click on accept the project, it copies all these files into the my workspace. So now it will start the local server with 4004 port number, the different one. But so now the preview is ready. I could quickly cross-check. Okay, so this was my preview, and this is the generated app. And it also has a object page, the detail page. So everything looks okay to me. So now I'll accept the project, which actually copies all the files from the staging area to my workspace. So now I have an CAP-based Fiori Elements application on my workspace. And now I can use all the Fiori tools to modify this application further. So let me start with an application info page where it provides all list of all the Fiori tools. What all I could do with the Fiori tools. I can preview application, open page map, and so on. So what I will do is now I'll quickly go to the page map, and using the page map, I'll do a small minor modification to this application. Okay, the preview is closed as the files are moved into the workspace. I can start the preview again. Now I'll do a small modification here in the object page. I have a purchase order ID. Maybe I'll try to bring this material name also next to the below the purchase order. So to do this small modification, in the page map, I'll go into the object page header. The header, I'll modify the description. Currently it is none. I'll choose a description, let's say material, click on apply. And as the live reload is enabled, the application will reload automatically. You can also see the code change, what exactly is changed. So this is added, this particular annotation property description is added to the header info. Now I can go back to my preview. I could see that the material info is already there on this purchase order. So of course I can cross-check with any other purchase order as well. So the minor modification which I did is already like this. You can use all the other Fiori tools. So just to conclude, for concluding, let me also check if the images are working as of now. Coming to the different kind of inputs it supports, the Project Accelerator, as I already explained, it supports the plain text, the first kind, and then the second one is, as you have already seen, the demo for the purchase order mockup. And then as a team, if you try to, let me close this. So as a team, if you want to collaborate and then discuss, okay, this is what we need, like, for example, managing travels application, display a list of travels, bookings. So you try to draft the models. So the travel model or the entity with so-and-so fields and booking, it can have these many, one travel can have many bookings and so on. So you can also upload such kind of, sketch, and the Project Accelerator also accepts this and also generates the project. And even if there is a, if you are using some sticky notes, you have also created some of the sticky notes with having these entities and so on so properties. This is also accepted as an input. Or you have a combination of text and image. So then you can write down in a markdown file, .md file, and you can have the images beside. So these are all the screenshots from the old GUI UI. So you can just have all these screenshots and prepare one markdown file with all this data. Now you can also upload this as an input to the Project Accelerator, and the Project Accelerator will accept all the different kinds of input, and it generates the CAP project in the end. And with that, it also chooses based on the the description of what you have entered. Based on that, tries to create a list report Fiori application or form-based single-page application. So both are supported as of now. That's the end of my demonstration. Are there any questions?
Yeah, now there is one question coming in from Shashi. Could you please show the MD file to see how it combines images and text instructions?
So it's really a Markdown file that has like an HTML file embeds images. It embeds images here, the text.
Yeah.
Do you upload then the Markdown file or paste it into the text field, or have to upload all the images, or how does this exactly work here in this?
Okay, so I can show that. So you can just choose just the markdown.md file is enough, as they're all, the images are all related to this file, and it can pick it up. So you just need to upload the MD file. So let me go here and then click on. So then all that content is been pasted here. Then click on generate. Goes on from here once again. And of course, if you want to also watch what's happening behind as a developer, then of course there are. Let me open up the output window. So you can click on output, and you just select the SAP Fiori Tools CI, and also here choose info. So then you could also watch what's going behind that. The LLM calls the workflow, what kind of application it's printing, it's trying to take, and then so currently it's in a step of generating the cap model. As it has so many images, it takes some time to analyze. But yeah, once it is analyzed, the LLM provides internally data as a JSON, and that JSON, of course, is used to determine which kind of application, whether it's list report, yes or no. And then further using that, we try to create the entities. Let's see, I have noticed, try to create the complete folder structure required for the CAP project. So it's currently in the step of building the CDS files and so on. It goes on. Yeah.
There's one question in the Q&A window. So the configured model in the logging output was currently OpenAI GPT. Is this configurable or chosen by the tooling based on the requirements?
It's chosen by the tool. Correct me, Ian?
Yeah, absolutely. We decide on the LLM. So we've done extensive research on different LLM models and compared the accuracy and success rate of them. So at the moment, GPT-4o is the LLM that's being used in these queries.
I can also confirm this from another similar tool, from the AI tool, UI5 tool, so to say. For the freestyle UI5 stuff, there we also analyze different LLMs and we check which one is the best for the task. And we also update whenever there's a new one that is better, then we update. So it's not something we configure, but we pick the best one for you. So each AI feature might use a different tool, actually, a different model from a different vendor. So you always get the best that works best.
Hello from my side, I'm Dominic. I'm a software architect at SAP at the UI theme designer. And there I'm, apart from other things, developing the theming content that is used by UI5, by UI5 web components, and dozens of other UI technologies at SAP. But for today's session, I will wear a different hat. I will be wearing the hat of Synapse. Because there, imaginary, I am a theme admin. And because I follow UI5 closely, I'm worrying about deprecated themes. And in this session today, we're going to find out how I can move from Belize, which is deprecated, or the custom theme based on Belize, which is now deprecated, to a modern theme based on Horizon. And for that, I will take you to our theme designer, a theme designer on a NetWeaver ABAP backend. And I have this wonderful Synapse Belize theme here. We can have a quick look inside. Here it is, applied to a Launchpad. Just a logo and a background and overall a teal green vibe. But I have learned that Belize is deprecated as of UI5 120. So I could do a manual migration to a modern theme like Horizon or Quartz. And for that, I would export the theme, would change all the files inside, look for every mention of Belize and change it to Horizon. But I could also use the theme designer on BTP Cloud Foundry. So that's not available on the NetWeaver ABAP stack, but it's available on BTP Cloud Foundry. And I could use the migrate theme feature there, which does that automatically. For that, I would export the theme from my ABAP backend. Again, this takes a little while, so we just let it work. And what I would do then is that either I already have a BTP Cloud Foundry theme designer, which comes with WorkZone, then I can just use that, or I could just search for a WorkZone trial and click my way through that, I would have to copy those generated credentials. And I would go to the SAP Build Workzone lobby, which we already saw on the previous demo. And I would create my own business site that manages work pages and workspaces. So now I have a trial version of a Workzone Advanced. And in there's a theme manager with a launch theme designer. And now I have a theme designer on BTP Cloud Foundry on the EU10, only that I'm not authorized to publish themes. So this may be for our demo, be a little bit unfortunate, but in general, if I just want to migrate themes, this is perfectly enough. One thing you might notice, there is already a theme, and this is not my theme. I have not created the theme, but I just fired up a completely new Workzone trial. It appears that all Workzone trials share exactly the same theme designer. So someone else made what I just did and created this theme. Meaning if you try this at home, be aware that all those themes are essentially public, and that everyone could delete what you just did. But if you just want to migrate a theme, that's no problem. Here I would import the theme I just exported from the ABAP backend. You see it's called Synapse Belize, don't change. I'm warned that on BTP Cloud Foundry there's no NetWeaver Business Client. That's also no problem. And that BTP Cloud Foundry uses the latest UI5 version. That's also no problem. And here we have it, the same theme as before. You may remember. Let's just save it, remove the 2 that had been added. And now we're more or less where we also were on the ABAP backend, but now on the Cloud Foundry theme designer, where we have this button, Migrate. Let me click that button, and it suggests I could migrate to Horizon, which is awesome because that's just what I want to do. It also even suggested that it should name it Synapse Horizon instead of Synapse Belize. Let's do that and remove the additional 2. I hit migrate. And what is happening now internally is that a new theme is created based on SAP Horizon. And then every change that had been made in the Synapse Belize theme is also made in the Synapse Horizon theme. So every resource that I added, all the logos and background images, every parameter that I changed, everything is copied to the Synapse Horizon theme, and also the custom less I added. And if we inspect this theme, then you see it has a similar vibe to the Belize-based custom theme, but you can also recognize the Horizon vibes, I would say. As this only copies all the changes from A to B, it is very possible that now we have to do something, because the parameter structure in Belize differs from the parameter structure in Horizon, and what worked there may not necessarily work in Horizon. In this demo, this is not the case, but be aware, you may have to go to the expert theming and then to show errors, where you would see what errors you have. For now, just save, and we're done. Now I could export this theme and import it in the ABAP backend and then use it there, and we would be done. So this is migration from an older theme to a newer theme, basically. But migration can be used for a second interesting use case, and that is the use case of theme sets. Maybe you already have heard of theme sets. If not, it's a collection, a set of themes that belong together. and that can automatically switch between each other based on the system settings. So for example, an automatic light to dark switch or an automated low contrast to high contrast switch. And I could create a Synapse Horizon set here, call it Synapse Horizon, and select our new Synapse Horizon for the light version. Now I cannot publish this because Synapse Horizon is not published because I don't have rights to publish things in this trial account. But for the demo, this is enough. Hit save. And now we have a new set where the light, low contrast version is the theme we just migrated, but the dark and high contrast versions are default SAP themes. And in the past, I would have to create 4 versions of the theme and do every change 4 times. That's cumbersome. Now I can just have one truth, the morning horizon, which I really put all the work into, and then migrate that to a dark version. And also to low contrast or to high contrast versions, so that I have a full set of themes without much manual effort. If we inspect the dark version, then we see it looks almost like the light version, which is not exactly what I intended, because I wanted a dark theme. It's based on a dark theme, but something is overriding that. And if I go into this expert theming mode here and click on the Show Changes button, so just show me what is in the theme, we see that the base color is white, for example. If we just remove that, then it looks a lot more like a dark theme. Still, we have this background here, so maybe it's the background color. Let's remove that as well. And now we have something that almost looks like a dark theme. Maybe this My Home has the wrong color. We can use the element picker here and see that the selected color is the highlight color, which is primary 2, which is blue. And if we change that to the brand color, then we have the right color here. So hit save. And close the theme and edit the set to now use the dark version in the dark theme. And here you see it. If I cycle through, we can now do the same for high contrast white and high contrast black. I like to use the dark low contrast version as the basis for the high contrast black version, because they both are dark essentially. Here I have to select Horizon HCB. And we can do the same for the light version, low contrast, going to HCW, so a high contrast white.
Why do you do all that, Dominic? So this means really that it's completely decoupled after the migration happened, so there is no dependency anymore between each other. So in case of changes, I need to replicate them afterwards, but for the creation process, I have this short cycle where it creates these new themes by copying the deltas more or less.
That's right, that's right. So you just do all the changes you want to do once in the what I would call a root theme or something like that. And then just migrate that to everything else. Because in the end, those are separate themes. They don't know that they have been migrated from one to another. They are just themes. And also a set does not know that those themes depend on each other, because they don't. Yeah, but here I can, just for completeness, add those. And now I do not only have migrated from Belize to Horizon, but I also have a full theme set of themes that match what we started with Belize. Unfortunately, because of the trial, I cannot show you this in a real-world application. just to end my demo, I can show you a different theme here. Maybe not, because I'm missing a cookie. So we go open in a new tab. And here we have it. That's from our actual developer BTP Cloud Foundry theme designer, a winter set. And if I now switch from no emulation to prefers color scheme dark, then I have a dark theme applied to that application. And I could even emulate prefers contrast more so that I have a high contrast version. This can be done with UI5 if you know what you're doing and you invest a bit in that. What I did here is fairly easy because this just uses CSS custom properties of the theme, and they can simply switch with CSS with just those 4 lines here, and they'll import all 4 and have media queries for whatever is the right at the moment. What I wanted to show you is that it's really easy to migrate themes from older to newer themes, and that you can do that even if you do not have the BTP Cloud Foundry theme designer, because you can use the trial account.
That's really a nice tooling support, which copies the deltas. So where I would have struggled would be the place where you removed entries. So from what you showed, yeah, because there you need already a deep knowledge on the custom theme, what to remove to make it really looking black. Yeah, for sure you get a kind of idea. But it's this is a bit special.
Yeah, that's right. But at least with this show errors here, where we do not have errors at the moment, or the delta, it's almost manageable, I would say.
It is show errors. What exactly does that do? Does it show deviations from the color, or what exactly?
So I could create situations that do not even compile the theme. Like if I don't supply a color here, but just enter a text, then I would expect that here I see all the errors.
Okay, yeah. But that are really compile issues then. So when it comes to something, it's not like what could be also kind of help if, let's say, the color is not fitting properly into the color scheme. So kind of a hint when it is too far. But that's also somehow tricky to know that.
Yeah, that's hard to find out. Like even what I would love is to have something like this color against this color is not visible enough. It has too less contrast. But for that, you have to know which color is used against which color. So that's not that easy. So what errors here are actually compile errors.
I would say we are at the end of today's session. Thanks again to my panelists. It was really great having you with us. I hope it was not the last time. With this, I think it's time to say goodbye and hope seeing you then the next time when it's time for UI5ers Live. So see you then. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.